Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super speculation theory discussion video, whatever you want to call it. I am once again joined by the one, the only, one of my favorite collaborators. In fact, he's my boy, MJ from Geeklist TV. MJ, why don't you say hello to all the beautiful people?
Hello, beautiful people. I'm sorry that I'm not as beautiful as you, but hello.
Nah, dude, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're my boy. Anyway, guys, so MJ and I are going to have a double upload, like always, but not really. It's not necessarily all the time, but we sometimes do this every now and then, and I think you guys like it because, considering all the reactions we get from usually our double uploads. Anyway, we are doing a double upload, so make sure to watch this video, then head over directly.
I saw some guy on your comment section say that he wants me and you to do more videos together.
I saw that, and I was like, what? Like, I've uploaded like 4 videos this week with MJ. That's like, okay, I'll try.
We'll meet your demand, guys.
Anyway, guys, I want you to all watch this video and then head over directly to MJ's channel. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about, like you saw in the thumbnail and anything else, we're going to be talking about whether or not Universe 6 has the best team in Dragon Ball Super in the upcoming Tournament of Power. And let's just be fair. Like, Universe 7 is the only team that we know. Every single one of these people, we've been familiar with them and everything. And yeah, that's awesome. Vegeta, Goku, so much history, so much nostalgia, so much all this stuff. Let me be honest, it's kind of boring. They have too many weak people fighting and yada, yada, yada. Universe 6, guys, has Hit, Frost, Kaba, Botamo, Magetta, maybe a female Super Saiyan, and then 4 other people that are just randos that could be super awesomely cool and everything else. Look, considering that these two universes are twin universes of each other, they're simpatico, as it were, Universe 6 has the most interesting lineup of any of them one that we've seen thus far. I mean, obviously it's kind of unfair because we've seen most of these people fight, and everything going into this fight, we've seen most of them fight. We know a little bit about them, but I mean, come on, they're so interesting. Like, just having a Frieza race character on a team is mind-blowing, as much as it was in the last tournament. 2 Saiyans, just like Universe 7, okay, a little bit, but at the same time, 2 interestingly new Saiyans. Hit, super Hit fanboy over here. Botamo still needs to be kind of explored a lot more, and Magetta is just kind of an awesome tank-type character that can just take it and give it hard back. So, anyway, MJ, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is right? Do you think, like, even if they add like 4 scrubs, that's going to be still one of the most interesting teams that we see in this upcoming tournament?
Yeah, and here's why. I'm going to do a little breakdown for everybody. So anyways,
all right.
A breakdown, because I know there might be some people in the comment section below disagreeing with us on why we think this is the most interesting team. But for starters, we'll start with Magetta. Magetta is a tank. It's pretty much even stated, I believe. Someone in the episode where he fights Vegeta calls him a tank, and believe it or not, he did tank the final flash from Vegeta. So I really do believe that Magetta is probably the second strongest on that team, and Vegeta may have had to access another form beyond Super Saiyan just to defeat him, whether it was Super Saiyan 2 or Blue. Then you look at Hit. Hit's a very hacks character. He has the Tokidobashi. He has those new abilities he introduced in the mini filler arc, which Danny dubbed Merry Hitmas, and I love that so much. But you have Hit and all those abilities, and then he's 1,000+ years old. And I was even talking to Mark off air. If there's anyone that can match Goku and Vegeta by just years of being alive and being in battles, or I guess doing jobs, it would be Hit. It still doesn't make that much sense, but he does have the mileage, you know? And then you look at Frost. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting because all these characters have potential. Magetta, he has his trickster stuff where he can, do the lava. You have Hit, who can increase. Then you have, obviously, Kaba and the legendary female Saiyan, who can get stronger. They're Saiyans. They can utilize Zenkais. I know the manga took a different route, but they can still utilize Zenkais. They can still train and get stronger. They have potential. Then you move to Frost. Again, Frieza's counterpart. He may be a prodigy. We're not too sure, but maybe he can access a form, an evolution beyond what he has. Maybe it's not golden. Maybe it's more like coolers. The point is, this is a very interesting team of people who just have a shit ton of potential and a shit ton of ways to get stronger. And it's very interesting because they can utilize abilities not really known to the other team. You know, I mean, obviously Goku and Vegeta are very recognizable with the Saiyans, but I mean, like Hit, Magetta, and even Potamo. If Potamo can do what, I guess maybe get back into shape. I know, like in the manga, Goku told him that he needed to get into shape, and even here, Goku beat him by ring out. If he can just get into shape and somehow maintain his ability while increasing his overall skills and polishing his power, he could be a real force to be reckoned with, real, because he has that ability to send his energy to other universes or different dimensions. You make him stronger and then you keep that ability on him, that's a very, very interesting character and a very hacks character. So yeah, I think even if they add scrubs, and even if those scrubs are taken off like off screen or they're just taken out, in Universe 6 is still a very interesting team, and I am sort of happy, and my mind is a bit excited about what we could be witnessing from the inner universes, because I would assume they would try and top it. You know, Toriyama would try to top what Universe 6 is by introducing even more interesting characters, but for right now, I feel like Universe 6 is the most interesting team, even comparing it to the Universe 9 fighters that we're seeing right now in this tournament, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's exactly what kind of is out there. Honestly, they have these awesome characters that are basically been built up, even just very slowly and minuscule, really. Yeah. When you go back to Potamo, one of the things I would just look, okay, you could sit there and say Magetta is a tank all you want. Potamo, if you know, his ability is as far-reaching as we assume, because we really have no idea what he's capable of and what he's willing or able to take, really. They really should have just given us Boo versus Potamo just to show us the extent of his powers, considering how hacks both those characters are in terms of ability. But taking him into account, the only real fan theory I've ever had on him is whether he gets in shape and then he completely loses his ability to absorb attacks like that. Whether it has something to do with his girth is something that I would find pretty Toriyama-esque and pretty funny, for the most part. But it's not probably something that's going to happen. In fact, I don't think he's actually going to become skinny or, you know, buff or anything.
Your theory is very awesome.
Him getting
into shape, getting skinny, but then he finds out his abilities nullified. He lost it.
Right? Like, now he's not even like, oh, but you know what? That would be such a cop out. That would just be a way to be like, okay, well, Potamo was just essentially two hacks, you know? Yeah. Like, if no one could beat him and we have no ring outs in this tournament, then him getting into shape is the only reason that he can actually be beaten, and easily. And then it's kind of a shame not to be able to see how badass he can actually be. But, you know, Potama's never really my focus. Not that he's not an interesting character. I mean, I've said this before. I think you've said this before. A lot of people have. Is one of the things we want from Dragon Ball Super is to actually have, you know, some little indication of these people that we're actually going to be seeing in this tournament, and some kind of idea of what we're actually going to be, you know, some, I guess, connection with the characters that we're actually going to be seeing, some backstory and all this other stuff. So getting able, you know, whether the manga went out and did that, or whether we got specials or movies or something, that we can actually see what Potamo was doing, or Frost, or Magetta, or Hit, or Kaba, or this female Super Saiyan, that would be really cool. Universe 6 to me is a very interesting team. And I don't necessarily know who all's going to be put in there, whether there's going to be a human in there or anything that we're actually even familiar with. Like we've said in this video a couple times, it's probably just going to be scrubs. We're not even probably know their names. I mean, obviously they might have names, but who really cares? They're just going to be taken out off screen or something. And you know, what they're really building this up towards probably is the fact that Universe 6 or Hit will probably be, you know, we've said, like, Hit will probably be taken out pretty easily. And then you're like, oh, man, that guy is something, like, that person's someone to be reckoned with. I know, I don't like it either, but it's just the way it's probably going to work.
It's a trope,
It's a trope, and he's just the perfect character to just take out immediately for no reason. But even beyond that, I feel like that's the thing is Universe 7 is somewhat like we have a really cool nostalgic lineup. Honestly, them not including Trunks and Goten, while that might not be favorable to a lot of people, it actually is somewhat of a good idea, considering the fact that you bring these characters back that we haven't seen fight seriously in a very long time for a really awesome, I guess, nostalgic throwback, all tricks, no real strength, no real just slug matches, like literally people using their minds in order to win a fight. Stuff that we haven't necessarily seen since the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, where there was like all out until it just became all out like brawl fests. And so the thing is like Universe 6, like I know you and Mike did this video a while ago, and I've talked to you about this off air. They should have had Frieza on this team. Like, they should have gotten the Dragon Balls, wished Frieza back, and forced him to fight. Or, at the very least, anyone that they fought in before that would have been kind of more formidable than Roshi or Ten Shinhan or Krillin.
Oh, but I just have to jump in real quick. Before people start going crazy on Mark, what he means is there's a line that, I mean, they kind of retcon the way Hell works, I guess. The bad guys keep their bodies, and that's shown when Frieza is alive. So the fact that the timeline, or I mean, the universe is going to get taken out, that means every part of the universe will get taken out. The check-in station, the main universe, the Kaioshin realm, and then, of course, the afterlife. So it would just make sense. This is where our thesis on the video was, that if that's the case, why not help ensure Universe 7's win by getting some of the guys who are dead, who are a lot stronger than people who are on the team, like Frieza. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, that would be an interesting way to, like, kind of tie in the entire Fukatsu no F arc of the series. But we're not getting that. They don't actually allow us to get that. And it kind of makes sense. But, again, that's one of the reasons why Universe 6 is such an interesting team by proxy, is because we actually get to see what a Frieza character would be like on that team. Even more so interesting, putting in his whole backstory, where we know he is evil. Like, he probably doesn't want to be there, but he's being forced to be there either because he wants to live, because he's selfish, or, you know, Champa or Vados is just making him be there because he is one of the strongest people in the universe.
Yeah.
So it would be really interesting for them to do that in Universe 7. I'm really glad that we have this Universe 6 team kind of sitting in the background waiting to kind of take up the slack in terms of, okay, it's not necessarily the most nostalgic team, but in terms of interest, it's really cool. And it does make me hope, you know, this whole conversation, like you said earlier, this whole conversation is really just, it's interesting to see where they're going to go from here, because as we've seen, like the abilities of Universe 9 have been pretty awesome in comparison to Universe 7. Just kind of stuff that we're really familiar with, you know, Ki Blast and all this other stuff. We have characters who are doing stuff that is completely different fighting styles. So, I mean, the aspect of watching this entire tournament is going to be really cool, and I really can't wait to see awesome teams. But to me, the coolest team thus far that we know of is Universe 6.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that, which again makes me very excited because I want to see what these other universes bring to the table. Like, we've already seen Kicker Basil, or Bullet Shoe, whatever his nickname is, and then you have Lavender, who utilizes poison. Not really that cool, since Frost kind of already had the whole poison gimmick, but nonetheless, it was still cool, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I just really hope that we get some other universes that could showcase different abilities, because right now, I think Universe 6 has it as far as potential goes. To me, it's going to be very hard to believe that Universe 6 can get taken out easily, because all of them have the potential to get stronger. Like, obviously, Saiyans can utilize Rage. Again, I know there's more of a half-breed thing, but we've seen Vegeta and Goku Rage out. So you have Kaba and the female Saiyan who could get stronger through Rage. You have Hit, who can increase. You have Magetta, who's a tank. And then you have Frost, who... I'm assuming, this is what I'm hoping for, because I hope we get a new form from him. I can assume that for the last year or longer, he's been training, or he's been planning his revenge. So you have all these characters with all this potential to get stronger, so it's going to be very hard for me to believe that they can get taken out so easily, you know? That's my gripe with it, but anyways, yeah.
I really hope that's what they do. I hope that they've shown them to be getting strong, because we talked about this in one of the last videos we did, is the fact that if they haven't been trying to get stronger, then they're just going to be scrubs then compared to everyone else. Considering the fact that they couldn't even stand up to Vegeta and Goku, let alone Krillin, or let alone Piccolo.
Yeah, that's right.
Then they're gonna have a hard time if they haven't been training. So hopefully they have been. That experience led all those fighters there to basically be working on their weaknesses and being able to fight the good fight for this upcoming tournament.
And it's a good way to tie in the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament with this one, because as we always talk about this, we and you feel it's getting a bit better, I think, but me and you do feel that Super does lack continuity, you know, between from one arc to the next, you know. So.
Oh yeah, there's nothing to weave them together. They're just basically situations that happen, and that's been one of the biggest problems with this arc. A lot of people can say that, or the whole series. A lot of people can say that this show, well, it's not really supposed to. It's supposed to be more of a sitcom with fights and all this, and I understand that, but you know, kind of taking back to the whole point that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z did it better than Super, and Super is a show that premiered in 2015. Now it's 2017. A little bit too late. You know, you have to be able to adapt at the times. And right now, the big thing that sells is continuity. As much as we don't want to say as a fandom that there's any such thing as continuity on Dragon Ball, and also one of the things that it not just not continuity, but it's also one of the things that makes Dragon Ball so popular and so easy to talk about, even when there's nothing going on, is the fact that it's so inconsistent. So, I mean, I can't fault it for being the way it is. It's just you would expect more. I expect more from it at this point.
And guys, that was real to real spitting some knowledge and some truth.
Anyway, guys, we're getting a little bit off topic, so I guess I'll just leave it there. Make sure to go down in the comment section below and tell us what you think about Universe 6 versus any other universes. What do you want to see, from Universe 11, Universe 9, Universe 6, the only people that we actually really know thus far. And make sure to go check out MJ's channel for the other video that's kind of related to this in terms of who is actually going to be or who should be on Universe's 6 team. I won't spoil it here, so make sure to go check him out if you really want to see that video. Anyway, guys, please make sure to go check out MJ like I keep saying. And MJ, thank you so much for joining me.
Booyah!
Booyah!